So this is Dorothy's kitchen, and this is Dorothy.
This is Dorothy from TaiChiBozeman.com/rawfoodblog. That's TaiChiBozeman. TaiChiBozeman.com/rawfoodblog. And today we're going to make some cheesecake, but raw cheesecake. But first we're going to make some raw frosting, so that anytime you're about to have a regular cupcake or brownies or something, go in and make this frosting because it's so amazing. And you will totally not want anything else after this. So here we go with, I soaked a cup of macadamia nuts, and you really should soak them for an hour, or cashews. But if you really need frosting really fast, don't soak them, just put them in there. So we're going to blend a cup of macadamias. You can also go half cup macadamias, half cup cashews. And then we'll add a few other things. So I soaked these for an hour. I'm just going to pour off some of the liquid, just in case we need some back again. There we go. Pouring in do it that much, and then I'm going to add coconut water, which now this is best if you get it from the raw coconut. Thai coconuts are awesome, but if you can't, then take a third cup of shredded coconut and just blend it in the blender with about that much water again. So a third cup coconut, third cup water, and you have some coconut water. 2/3 cup. And then you want to blend this until it's really, really creamy. And then we're going to add some lemon and a little coconut oil and honey, and that's it. So I'm going to put in, the recipe calls for a juice of 1 lemon. But I like my cheesecake really lemony, so I'm going to put in a little bit more. In fact, I'm glad I am, because this one doesn't have that much juice in it. So for me today, juice of 1½ lemons. And all this is on the blog. It's also right underneath this video. So you don't have to write it down. You can just copy and paste it for yourself. Oopsie. There we go. And then a little bit of honey. And I had this honey sitting in my dehydrator. It's raw honey. So I needed it to melt. Same thing as the coconut oil. So 3 teaspoons honey. I'm just going to put it all in one go here. 3 teaspoons coconut oil. Same thing. I had that melting over my dehydrator for about an hour. I'll just pour that right in. And then you blend it, and there you have it for frosting. And I'm going to put back a little bit of that water to make it a little bit more creamy. And I'm going to get a spoon right here, so excuse me. Can I ask my spoon? Okay, so this is our frosting. Oh, it's beautiful frosting. Frosting for any brownie, cake, or whatever, and it's also the filling for our cheesecake. So I happen to have a little bit of fudge cake left over from the week. This was chocolate orange fudge cake, which you can find on my blog. And I'm going to put a dollop on that, so I can have that later. And then this will be our filling for our cheesecake right now. Now to make a cheesecake, any kind of crust actually, all you need is nuts and a sweetener. So I sprouted a cup full of almonds. And again, you know, a lot of people on the net, they only soak their almonds for 1 hour, but you don't want to do that. You got to soak them for 12 hours at least. You can soak them for 2 days. And then you got to sprout them for a day. And to sprout them, you really have to see the little seed open up. Otherwise, you're just not getting all the enzymes that are possible. And, you know, seeds and nuts, their properties magnified 10 times or exponentially. The nutrients in them just unfold and feed your body. So if you're just soaking them for an hour, you're not going to get those nutrients. So please soak your nuts at least a day, and then sprout them a day. So we'll put these in the food processor. And when you do a crust, you always want to, anytime you use nuts, you always want to process the nuts first. We're going to process them with dates though, and this is a 1/3 cup dates soaked in date water. It's actually a 1/4 cup. And I'm going to save off some of that water too in case I need it. This date water is extremely sweet, so you can use it in things, in any part of the recipe to sweeten it up. So we'll just go ahead and grind up the dates and the almonds. And this in itself is a great crust, just dates and almonds. I'm just going to add a few more things because I like oats and stuff in there. Pulse it. I'll show you what that looks like. This in itself is a great crumbly crust, just dates and almonds. You can also use, you know, if you want a walnut crust, you could do that, a macadamia nut crust, a Brazil nut crust, they're all really good. And then I'm going to put in also a cup of coconut, but you don't have to, and not chili powder. I got the chili powder down instead of the cinnamon. Cinnamon. That is so funny. A teaspoon of cinnamon. You can tell that's exactly a teaspoon. And then some oat powder, which I ground up from raw oats. Sorry. Get my top off today. Well, I guess my crust won't have oats in it today. That's okay. And then a little bit of honey and salt back in there. Just a dash of salt. And then need another spoon. I'm just going to use 1 teaspoon because we have so many dates in there. So I'm going to brown that up again to make a nice fine crust, and then we're almost done. So here's what our crust looks like. And then if you don't want it so crumbly, you can add a little bit more date water, which we'll do. And now we're going to pack it into a nice crust for our cheesecake topping. You can tell 1 cup of almonds and 1 cup of coconut makes a nice huge crust. Okay, so then you just take your hands and pat it down. And you can put it in a pie plate. I happen to like this plate because it was my husband's and I wedding cake plate. Okay, so there you just form it into a ball, a round crust, and then we'll put our topping on it. And smooth it out. And then you can put berries on top or lemon. And this is the berry jam that I made the other day on the net. It's Chia Strawberry Jam. And I just made some just now. You can also, of course, just put fresh strawberries, which would be very pretty on top. This is chia seeds, 1 tablespoon soaked for 10 minutes in water, and it's a handful of strawberries and a teaspoon of raw honey. So I'm just going to spoon that on top. You can let it fall over if you like. Depends on how much berries you like. And there you have it, a strawberry cheesecake raw from taichibosman.com/rawfoodblog. Enjoy your cheesecake, eat raw.